Alright guys, what's going on? This is Noah Brewer. I'm not going to be sharing face in this. I'm not going to be doing an intro. Nothing but value in the series. There's going to be an outro, but let's just dive right into this. I don't really want... my goal for this is to be one of the most valuable pieces of content on YouTube about Facebook ads in general. So I don't want any distractions. Let's just go right into this. So here's the table. This is what we're going to be covering in this video. So for one, understanding the pixel. For two, understanding optimization. Three, how does the pixel work in tune with optimization? And four, what is data matching and how can you use it? Basically, this whole series, and this is going to be a multi-part series. This is just part one, but this whole series is going to be about how Facebook works in terms of optimization and how the pixel works with optimization. So if you're wondering, like, how can I use the pixel to my advantage? How does Facebook work? Like, when I publish an ad, what happens on the back end? What happens with what I can't see? This is stuff that took me about 8 to 10 months of doing Facebook ads 12 hours a day. You know, not exactly 12 hours. You know what I'm saying, though? Like, literally just constantly doing Facebook ads for 8 to 10 months. I started to really pick up on these things. So I'm just going to, give it all away here. Like, I'm trying to make this as valuable as possible. So let's just start. One, understanding the pixel. This is the first part. Now you need to understand these things that I'm going to cover, these four things right here. You need to understand these to understand what I'm talking about in the future videos. So this is like the foundation. This stuff still took me a very long time to figure out because I didn't have somebody like myself teaching me this stuff. I was taught kind of the basics, but I kind of put the puzzle pieces together. But you need to understand these things to understand how other things work and how to take advantage of it. So the Facebook pixel is a way for Facebook to track its users for the benefit of advertisers and arguably its users as well. So basically all it is a snippet of code that you can put on your website, and it basically connects the user from Facebook to your website. So Facebook, the pixel communicates with Facebook that user was on your website. So this is pretty simple enough to understand. It can see what its users do on your website. Certain events, that's what they're called. Events can allow Facebook to determine the location, value, and significance of a certain user. And I don't mean location in the world, I mean location on your website. So like, what page are they on? And also value, like if that customer gave you money or if that user gave you money, it can determine how much money they gave you. And also the significance of a certain user. So like, how important are they? Are they just hopping on your site and leaving? Are they hopping on your site and staying on it for a while and engaging with your content, filling out a contact form? So it can track all these things. And the pixel, like, how does it do it? It uses third-party cookies and first-party cookies to connect these dots. So third-party cookies are just, I don't know exactly what cookies are. Like, you could just Google it, but essentially it's the thing that it hits them. It's in their browser. So Safari blocks third-party cookies. Apple is having a really big kind of like revolutionary update to their Safari that gets rid of third-party cookies. So it's always a problem with incognito mode, all these different options that people can use to avoid getting tracked by cookies. Facebook just released first-party cookies, and first-party cookies are a kind of like an offensive move towards Apple that overrides their anti-cookie system. So they just added this, so it's going to be able to track more Apple users. So you can use this data in two different ways. There's two different parts to a pixel, and it's very important for you to understand these, especially if you're going to be going in and scaling stores. And the first part is data storing. Now, before I get into this, nobody taught me this. Nobody, I'm just keeping it real. Like, this is stuff that I kind of connected the dots with myself. Just understanding that there's two parts. Like, this is pure experience. Nobody really puts this kind of content out there. So data storing is basically what allows you to create custom audiences and retarget people. So you hear a lot about retargeting. Like, you can have an audience of people who visited your website and you can show ads to them. That's Facebook storing those users in a little bubble so that you can go in later and retarget those people, like show the ads to those people again. So this is data storing. And Facebook will hold this data forever, as far as I know, but you can only utilize the data that was collected in the past 180 days. So any pixel events that happen on your website, like view content, page views, add to cart, you can only utilize those for 180 days. You can't go any longer than that. So if you have a website where people were on it, a year ago, you're not going to be able to retarget those people. They have to be in the last 6 months. So Facebook data storing also supports use of certain data for 365 days. So when you're retargeting people, you can actually retarget them for an entire year. But this is not for pixel events. This is only for data collected directly through Facebook or one of Facebook partners. So for example, video views. You can use video view data for 365 days. You can use page engagements, like your Facebook page engagement data. You can use Instagram engagement data because they're one of Facebook partners. So these are the kind of things that you can do with data storing. It's how it works. So next we go on to the next one, which is data optimization. Now, a lot of people know about data storing, but they don't know about data optimization. And this is what steers a lot of people in the wrong direction. And I promise you, once you understand this, you'll be able to understand a lot of different things. If you are scaling stores, this could explain some things that are happening. And if you aren't scaling stores yet, when you are scaling stores, you'll have a way better upper hand than if you didn't know about data optimization. So basically, this allows you to use data that is stored to help optimize for certain events. In essence, Facebook will use the data stored to find other users that are similar to the users that are in your stored data. So there's an expression called bad data, which nobody really explained to me. Like, I heard it, but I never really understood what it meant. Well, basically, it wasn't, bad data with data storing doesn't matter too much because it's just sitting there in a bubble. Like, you don't have to use it. But bad data with data optimization is bad because Facebook will naturally use that data to optimize your current ads. So this is a little bit more in depth, but let's just move on. So I have physical examples of some screenshots of where you can see these things happening. So this is a screenshot of the Pixels page. So this is, you can see page view, view content, add to cart, initiate checkout, purchase, search. There's some custom audiences there. This is data that is stored. Now, this is only for the last, you can see September 9th to October 7th. So it's about 30 days. But data stores this. They store this data for much longer. It's only showing 30 days on here. So you can see this is data storing. So I'm able to take these people, these numbers over here to the right. I can take these people and retarget them. And that's basically what I'm looking at right here. So it's telling me I have, 1,000 purchases, 1,000 searches, 9,000 initiate checkouts, whatever. This is data optimization. Now, when you're creating an ad set and you choose the conversion pixel and you have this option, I know a lot of people already know about this, but this is data optimization. Remember, this is going to use stored data to optimize your current ads. And this is basically my observation, is that if you have a lot of purchases on a dog product, you're not going to want to introduce a pair of shoes because it's going to optimize for dog products when you're trying to sell a pair of shoes. So we have, you see it says, we'll optimize delivery of your ads to get the most of these conversions at the lowest cost. This is basically what I'm telling you. It just uses this pixel to optimize. So people always ask me, why do you start out with purchase? Why do you do this and that, even if you don't have any data? Because Facebook will get you whatever you tell it to. That's what it's optimizing for. So understanding optimization. Optimization is what separates Facebook from almost all other advertising platforms. So Facebook's optimization used to be a lot dumber than it is now. So there's a lot, and we'll be covering this in future segments and how you can use this to your advantage. But basically, optimization means that Facebook can figure out what to do to get you what you want. So it's pretty simple to understand. Basically, whatever you tell Facebook you want, they can figure out and they can go get it, which is why Facebook is so powerful. So yeah, this means that the machine of the Facebook algorithm, like the optimization, can be smarter than you after seeing enough data. Like, this is a fact. So it's like you can think that men want this product, but the algorithm is a machine. Like, it doesn't have thoughts, it doesn't think, it doesn't have opinions, it only looks at data. So if it sees a lot of females are buying it, it's going to show it in front of females. So that's why I'm saying that it can be smarter than you. This is why when I create ads, you see me leaving certain things really broad, because the machine is smart enough to know who's going to take that action. So here's a really interesting thought that I this is what I use in my coaching and my training when I'm teaching people or when I'm training my team, is I talk about Facebook like a person a lot. So I think of it like a human, and I think of it like, except the emotion part, like I think of it like a human, and here's why. So optimization, I just like to think about it as a bunch of little minions going out into the Facebook atmosphere and prospecting for you. And essentially what this means is, if you optimize for purchases, Facebook will tell its little minions to go out into the Facebook atmosphere and find the people who are most likely going to purchase from you and place your ads in front of those people. So they're like little minions. Like, you can use optimization like your little minions. If you optimize for view content, your little minions are going to be going out there looking for people to view your content. They're not looking for people to purchase your product. This is why I say it's so important to optimize for what you want, because these little minions are smart. They are smart, okay? They are really smart. So I refer to optimization as little minions that go into the Facebook atmosphere. Just need to remind you guys so that you don't think I'm insane when I talk about the minions, okay? So there's a lot of things that these minions can do for you. I'm sure you already know this. They can go out and get you video views. They can get you reach. They can get you conversions, engagements, app downloads. Essentially, whatever you tell the minions you want, you will get. They're like your little guys. They're your homies. So where do you tell the minions what to do? Okay, so it says, what's your marketing objective? Essentially, what that translates in my mind is, what shall our minions get for you? And it's pretty funny, but like, basically, you tell your minions what you want. So you want traffic, okay, you're going to get traffic. You want conversions, this is where you put in Pixel. This is usually the one that I use. But you can get video views, app installs. Like, these are all the things that the minions specialize in. And they put a lot of work into making these algorithms very powerful so that you can actually get what you're telling Facebook you want. So how does the pixel work in tune with optimization, aka the minions? So how does the pixel help out the minions? Basically, the minions are far smart enough to get you what you need to get without any guidance at all. Okay, so you don't even need data, you don't need any of this stuff. It's all pretty much just a myth. It just helps to have that stuff. The minions are very smart. Like, these guys have been coded for years, like almost a decade now. You know, I'm pretty sure over a decade they've been coded to just become smarter and smarter and smarter. This is like you being constantly trained, just nonstop. The minions don't sleep. You don't get any sleep. That's 24 hours a day for the past 20 years. You know what I mean? These guys are smart as hell. So, and when I say guidance, I just want to specify, I mean demographics, placements, detailed targeting, location, in your ad set. So you know how you can edit, age, gender, you can choose what placements and stuff. These guys are smart enough to figure that stuff out already. So you see me leaving those things pretty broad from the beginning. And if you understood how this worked, you would know that would be a good thing to do, because you now understand how smart Facebook is and how smart those little minions are, because you don't want to do this. And I'll get more into this later, but sometimes they actually perform less as good when you tell them what to do. Sometimes I like to refer to it as they like going and figuring it out. They don't like being told what to do. They're little rebels, okay? But we'll get more. We'll go more into that in a further episode, or a further part to this series. Basically, data optimization and data storing work together to get you what you want. We covered this earlier. You can always go back if you don't fully understand these two things. But basically, the minions look at the data you have stored and compare it to other users. So it's kind of like giving a person a list of names, and like, let's say you give them a list of Noahs, and you tell here, I'll give you guys an example. I'm pretty sure I have an example on here. So yeah, here we go. So 80% of people in your stored data for the event purchases are interested in cats, dogs, and dog lovers. Okay, 80% of the people. Okay, your minions are going to see this statistic. They run through all the numbers, all the interests, all the demographics and stuff, and they figure out what is most common amongst these people. Like, they look for patterns. Okay, you hear me talking a lot about looking for patterns in your advertising. Well, so does your optimization, okay? These little minions are looking for patterns. And once they find the pattern, which the pattern in this example is simple, it's just cats, dogs, and dogs lovers. And dog lovers. So once they figure this out, they're going to show your ad to people who are also interested in cats, dogs, and dog lovers, because those are the people who are proven to purchase from you in the past. And if you can see in this situation, we are optimizing for purchases. So they're going to look at your stored data and say, okay, 80% of these people are interested in cats, dogs, and dog lovers. You know, Noah just told me to go get him more purchases. So I'm going to look at this data. I'm going to figure out what is most common amongst this data. And I'm going to go out there and I'm going to find people similar to that. Okay, you following? I'm going to go out there. I'm going to find people similar to that. And I'm going to bring Noah what he wants by doing that. It's very smart. And this is why the Facebook advertising platform is so powerful. But you need to understand this stuff to be able to use it to its full extent. So this brings us into data matching. This is one of the most powerful ways that you can take advantage of Facebook is data matching. And this isn't something that's very well known. Like, data matching is kind of like a term that I created. It's just something that I know is going on. Not a lot of people emphasize it as being important, but I think it's really, really important because you can take a lot of advantage of it. So, another thing is I just mentioned 80% of the people in your stored data for the event purchases are interested in cats, dogs, and dog lovers. This is not the only thing they can match up. So it can get a lot more complicated. I just wanted to keep it simple for this example. For example, 80% of the people are interested in cats, dogs, and dog lovers, and 70% of those people are married, and 60% of those people are female, and 80% of those people have a job. And it goes on forever. So they can get really, 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 really specific about the kind of people, and they can look for patterns in a lot of different areas. I hope you guys are following along because I know it might be hard to understand, but just you can watch this as many times over and drop a comment if you have any questions. It's pretty advanced, but I hope I'm explaining it good. So data matching, how does it work? So basically, they use numerous data points to match data like this. And I just explained some, interest groups, which is like what you can target on Facebook, what pages the users like. So there's like fan pages and stuff. And then you have age, gender, location, as in where they are in the world, activity, like how active are they on Facebook? Do they come on once a day? Do they stay on 3 hours? Do they stay on 6 hours? Relationship status, job titles, and friends, and much more, okay? Facebook has a lot of data, and you might not think of some of these like activity. Like, what does, being on Facebook 3 hours a day have to do with how you make purchases online? I don't know, but it works, okay? Facebook knows what they're doing. And you have friends, like what kind of people are they friends with? They can see what kind of people they message a lot. So if they have people who they're constantly talking to in the Facebook Messenger, Facebook knows that those two people are very good friends, which probably means that they also have similar interests, which, by the way, Facebook can check as well. Probably means they're in the same age group. Probably means, they're in a similar location. There's a lot of different things that, Facebook can connect the dots. So people don't think that the data can be utilized like this in terms of advertisers. They just think, you throw an ad up and it just gets put in front of a bunch of random people and you have to target super specifically because Facebook doesn't, they just throw your ad up and whoever you're targeting. This is not the case at all. There is way more to it. This is a brief explanation on how the pixel and optimization works inside of Facebook. You don't just throw an ad up. And this is how I used to think when I started out. I used to think like, okay, you target people in the dog interest, you just throw it up, it'll just start showing ads to the people in that dog interest, which is true, but it's how they sort through those people that matters. They're not just going to show your ad to random people inside of that dog interest. They're going to show your ad to people in that interest group who are similar to whatever you're trying to get, or who are more likely to get whatever you're trying to get. So if you're optimizing for purchases, it'll be people in that interest group who are trying to get, people in that interest group who are most likely to purchase from you. Okay? I'm starting to confuse myself here, even though I understand it completely. It's just hard to explain. I've never really taught this stuff in this much depth before, but this is basically what goes through my head. But as for this video, that's it. Peace.